can't describe it. You can see here.
बना तो सही एक साथ में।
अच्छा,
क्या बोलते हैं आप यहाँ पक्षी?
it's morning. It's nice observation. So, how do you feel, Jin? How's?
I feel fantastic.
Yeah. देखो इधर.
पड़ चुका है और ये झाड़ी में निकलने की कोशिश में है, लेकिन झाड़ी कोशिश भी काम नहीं कर रही है। कोशिश नाकाम हो रहे हैं हम बार बार, फिर भी कोशिश करते रहना पड़ रहा है हमको, क्योंकि हमको जल्दी से जल्दी यहाँ से निकलना है। बर्फ और भी ज़्यादा गिरने लगा है। ये देखो हम कैसे गिरा।
Me, Jogendar, Pauline, Joanna, Tracy, Jean, Sukanto, you all were absolutely happy over there. That morning, we were very happy. We went for a morning trek up to the 0 point, and we came back by 6:30. And it was our time to wrap up from the Panchachuli base camp. We had our amazing breakfast over there. It was quite a scenic and picturesque place, to have your morning breakfast. And we hiked down for another 4 kilometers to Duktu. From Duktu, we drove a little bit towards village Sela. And just before Sela, we crossed the Dharma river and we went to the other side from the Panchachuli BC. And we could manage to stay in Sela village for that night. And I must thank to the local villagers. They were very, very hospitable. They helped us and we pitched our tent in their courtyard for that night. I remember I went for a venture into the village. I went to mix with the locals. I had a very lucrative conversation with them regarding the local rituals, culture. And I also remember I visited a local shop over there, which is a kind of a very small shop. The owner was sitting with a variety of things. And I remember I could find a bottle of Pepsi over there, which kind of little surprising for me that time. It was a sad moment for all of us next morning because Pauline and Joanna were leaving us, and the rest of our crew member went to organize for our next leg of a journey, which was in the Sunderdhunga Valley, which was kind of a less known place for the trekkers, and comparatively it was quite a hard journey as well. I'm sure you have seen the glimpse. I'll show you the journey in the coming moments, so stay tuned, keep watching Optimized Travel Vlogs. It was a fantastic time we spent in Narayan Swami Ashram. It was quite a picturesque place for the people who want to find peace. You can stay there. We spent 2 nights over there, and we went for a trek over there as well, up to the Sirka village.
That's Sirka village in front of you guys, and we are on our way to on our way to the holy trail called Kailash Mansarovar. Although we won't go farther from here, but it's amazing to see these people here, the locals and their life and their daily life, how they manage their life so remote, and this is something very, very, very special.
My experience with village Sirka was very different. This Sirka village falls in the route of Kailash Mansarovar, and the moment I walked from Narayan Swami Ashram to Sirka village, everything changed. I could see the snow-capped glacier mountains far away, and after walking for 5 kilometers, I reached Sirka. AC was ahead of us, and when I reached there, I saw her waiting at a small shop and having her lunch. The houses over there were very similar to Dharma Valley, although this is a new valley. Sirka village falls in the Vyas Valley, and it was in our itinerary, to have a look at the village and come back to the Narayan Swami Ashram that day. The local villagers in Sirka were very hospitable, were very friendly, I should say, and we had an amazing time over there talking to them. And I remember I had to make a call because Sirka is actually in the border of Nepal, and the network facility was not there. And I could find a old way of calling back to our crew member using a telephone, a dialer telephone. Next morning, we went towards Bageshwar, and from Bageshwar, we headed towards the unknown valley, which is the Sunderdhunga Valley. About Hinduism, there are a lot of temples there. Bageshwar also offers small dhabas and hotels, and quite a busy town it was. We stayed that night over there, and I remember the village Khati was very pictureful. There's an NGO that came there and they draw certain pictures over there. There were friendly people around. We camped just beside the Khati village that night, and next morning we headed towards Jatoli. And I remember Jatoli was very fascinating because the small village was run by the woman administrator, and they had strict rules for men as well. I remember they had a hefty fine if men comes with drinking bottles and having bowls into the village. And they also implemented strict rules for pollutions and plastic pollutions. People are not allowed to bring plastics from outside. Along with, they also emphasized on the cleanliness of the village. That's Stacy with our Potter's family. They were very, very kind people. They welcomed us and offered us milk and snacks at their house that afternoon. We camped at Jatoli, close to the TRC guest house, government guest house, as a basic facility. So we camped there, and it was quite a fascinating place because we could cook a lot of items that night. I think I remember I personally cooked Mughlai dish for our guests that night. It was quite a satisfactory, afternoon walking through the unknown glacier of Himalayas.
ये जो पिराजोली आप लोग ढूंढते हैं
हाँ,
इसकी वजह से दो फायदा है,
दो बजा
मतलब एक फायदा है घाटा है।
घाटा भी है।
तो इसके बारे में आपको क्या करना है? जैसे पिराजोली की वजह से आपका खेती सारा बंजर हो रहा है,
ओ,
खेती हो नहीं पा रहा है, आपको जो भी सामान खाना है बाहर से खाना पड़ता है।
बाजार में शिकारे
हाँ,
घर की एक सब्जी भी नहीं, लाई सरसों तक नहीं बो रहे हैं।
पिछले समय में तो आपका
घाटा ही है।
सारा घर में हो जाते हैं,
हाँ,
गेहूं
सब
हो
होता
जाता
है।
आलू सब्जी सब।
आलू, राजमा, गोभी, लाई, प्याज, अदरक, धनिया सब होते।
तो आपको
कोई
क्या
मेहनत नहीं करे, बाजार से ला रहे हैं, सीधा खा रहे हैं।
तो आपको क्या लगता है कि इसकी वजह से आपको कुछ घाटा हो रहा है?
हाँ हाँ, अरे घाटा ही घाटा है। बंजर भूमि पड़ गई और दुकान के खाने से बीमारी भी ज्यादा शुरू हो गई। और क्या क्या होगा, बहुत ही लफंगा है, बहुत ही सारा वो है, नुकसान है।
तो अब आपके बच्चे लोग क्या कहते हैं इसके
बहुत ऐसे जी, अब यही राम राजा आया है बच्चों के लिए, तो बस खुश है इसमें।
बच्चे इसमें खुश हैं?
कोई बीमार है तो सीधा जा रहे, पैसे हैं ही हैं सालों के पास, दारू पे रहे, बल्ला करे पल्ला करे, कोई किसी को नहीं मान रहे हैं, बुजुर्ग लोगों को नहीं समझते हैं, अपने को बड़े समझते हैं। क्या होता है अभी, क्या करे, किसे क्या करना, जमाना ही है या क्या है?
इसमें जो कीड़ा जोड़ी आ रहा है, कीड़ा जोड़ी की वजह से घाटा ये हो रहा है कि जो
घाटा ही है,
पैसा तो आने को आ ही रहा है,
आने में आ रहा है।
इसमें किसी का तबीयत खराब हो जाए,
2-4 साल मान लो कीड़ा जाए खत्म हो गया, फिर बंजर भूमि कैसे खोदेंगे? कहीं गिर जाएगा, कहीं पेड़ उग जाएंगे, कहीं सारा भूल जाएंगे कहाँ तक किसका है कहाँ, वो भी गया, सब सारा नुकसान ही है ना सर। नुकसान तो बहुत है।
मतलब देखा जाए तो मतलब फायदा से ज्यादा नुकसान है।
हाँ हाँ, अरे फायदा ही नुकसान तो ज्यादा ही है मिला के।
We are about to reach Katalia. Another 4 kilometers to go. Then after we'll be able to reach the Sunderdhunga glaciers. We are proposed to stay at Baloni stop. Baloni top is the highest where you can have a view at the glaciers.
So next morning we headed towards the unknown Sunderdhunga Valley. It was quite a uphill walk, around 11 kilometers up to the Jatoli base camp. And the picturesque places around the trek really mesmerized our mind and soul. Jatoli wasn't an easy one. It is one of the hardest trek I have ever done in my life. After walking for 7 kilometers, we realized the road is washed away and we had to cross the boulders on the river, the Sunderdhunga river. The name Sunderdhunga arrives from its stones. Sundar means beautiful, so it's called the beautiful stones or the valley of the beautiful stones. After spending that night in the Jatoli base camp, we headed towards Baloni top, which is approximately 6 kilometers steep uphill walk. We spent that night in Baloni top. I think we are one of the first team to stay there with a proper kitchen setup. And that night was quite, calm. We couldn't realize that next morning there is a disaster waiting for us. Next morning, we could see heavy snowfall. It was kind of a very heavy one, steep uphill jungle walk, and it was quite a difficult situation for our team members. We were around 7-8 people, along with our guest Daisy and Jean, and they told me that you take a call whether we should go back or we should continue with the proposed plan from Baloni top towards the Shukaram Caves. But my instinctive mind told me that this is an unusual pattern of snowfall, so I decided to come back. And it was quite an adventurous journey, I must say. It was quite a risky one, as because there was no road. And I'm very thankful to the local guy, who kind of created a path for all of us. We divided in two teams. The guests were with the most experienced guide, came down from the balloony top, and beside the staff member and me and Sukanto came down at last. And it was quite a relief when we came down to Kathalia.
हाँ তিচ্ছা তিচ্ছা
আমাদের সমস্ত বাঙালি ভদ্রলোকেদের
শিক্ষা
গুড মর্নিং
এবং বরফের শুভেচ্ছা এবং मार्चर बर्फेर शुभेच्छा। आप भी कुछ बोलो।
हाँ बरजूरी पीक से उतर रहे नीचे और कथलिया में बड़ी मुसीबत में फंस गए हैं। पर्यटक लोग जो है परेशान हैं। इस समय जो है परिस्थिति बहुत ही डाउन हो रहा है। 2 फीट बर्फ पड़ चुका है और ये झाड़ी में निकलने की कोशिश में है, लेकिन जारी कोशिश भी काम नहीं कर रही है।
कोशिश नाकाम हो रहे हैं हम बार बार, फिर भी कोशिश करते रहना पड़ रहा है हमको, क्योंकि हमको जल्दी से जल्दी यहाँ से निकलना है। बर्फ और भी ज़्यादा गिरने लगा है। ये देखो हम कैसे गिरा, थोड़ी सी और तगड़ा गिरते तो हम चले जाते कम से कम तो
उठाओ यार,
उठ गया चलो उठ गया कोई दिक्कत ना। ऐसे ऐसे चलना पड़ रहा है हमको, निकालने की जल्दी हो रहा है इसलिए हम गिर भी रहे। पर यह बहुत सारे पेड़ लगे हैं इसलिए थोड़ा बच गए हम, नहीं तो सीधा हम चले जाते 3 किलोमीटर नीचे और जाके सीधा नदी में गिरते तो हमारी हलवा बन जाता। और हम जितना नीचे की तरफ भाग रहे हो उतना बर्फ तेज गिर रहा है। पर ये हमारे एक साथी है हमारे साथ, जिनकी वजह से हमारा हौसला अभी तक बुलंद है, क्योंकि
अपने स्ट्रेक लगा करके चलिए।
और दूसरा हमारे साथ जो साथी है उनका ज़रा तजुर्बा ज़्यादा है, इसलिए हमारी हिम्मत अभी भी बरकरार है, कोई टेंशन में नहीं है हम। पर जैसे बर्फ़ गिर रहा है ये आप लोग देख रहे होंगे, ये बर्फ़ गिरते हुए देखा तो हमें तो थोड़ा सा डर लग ही रहा है, क्या करें अब हमारा मजबूरी है, जाना तो पड़ेगा ही। यहाँ देखा, यहाँ से 3 किलोमीटर नीचे गांव है कठालिया, जहाँ हम पहुँच जाएंगे तो हमारी सांसें निकाल आएगी। पर अभी हम बहुत टेंशन में है। आप लोग सोच रहे हमको भी थोड़ा देख लीजिए और क्या करें। ये तो देखते रहिए आप लोग कैसे बर्फ गिर रहा है और हम कैसे नीचे उतर रहे हैं। अगर यहाँ से गिरा सीधा 3 किलोमीटर नीचे जाके गिरेंगे नदी में, जहाँ हमारी हड्डी भी नहीं मिलेंगे। ये वीडियो हम बना रहे हैं इसलिए कि अगर किसी को मिल जाए तो उनको पता लगेगा।
अरे ये बैग मत उठाना यार, बैग गिर रहा है। उठो ये उठ गया। अब भाई बाय
ठीक है, हमारे साथ देखते रहिए।
कठालिया से हम लोग अभी कठालिया पहुंचने वाले हैं और हमारे कुमाऊं विलेज ट्रैक से सभी को बाय बाय,
सभी को
मिलेंगे।
ये भैया बाय, सबको फिर मिलते हैं।
It took almost 5 hours for us to get down, but unfortunately we couldn't bring the heavy materials, the heavy equipments from the balloony top. So it was there for that day, and next morning we could send some Sherpas to bring those down. That evening we explored the Jatoli base camp, and Tracy and Jean were exploring the area intensively, and I could see the herd of sheep. They were quite tensed. There were hundreds of sheep grazing in the lush green fields that time, and the unexpected disaster was really stressful for the shepherds as well as for us. That night we spent in a small hut in Katalia. It was quite a very tough night for us. It was cold. And next morning we came back to a place for our camp, which was one of the picturesque place I have ever stayed. It was in a green field, and subsequently we came back to Jatoli, from Jatoli to Khati, and from Khati we took a new route, which is the Sunderdhunga Valley route. We walked through the green vegetation of Supi, and we came down to the road head, and finally we celebrate the success of our entire expedition with our guests. It was quite a fantastic trip. It was quite a learning trip, and the last moment were very emotional for all of us, because there were school students where we camped, and we could feel the hard life of the villagers over there. The students, they generally walk for kilometers to reach school. Jin took an effort to have an interaction with them, and it was quite an exciting moment for all of us. I hope you've enjoyed the series. In case you have enjoyed, give a thumbs up, put your valuable comments, and share your plans if you have any for the region. I'll come back with another series very soon. Till then, stay tuned, do watch Optimus Travel Vlogs, and please don't forget to subscribe.
That's true.
Can you say that?
Yeah. देखो जीवन का कोई भरोसा नहीं है, पहले डेजर्ट खा लो अपना, वही बोल रहे हैं।
उसके बाद खा पाओगे। ताली बजाओ सब, ताली बजाओ।
ताली दो सब भाई लोग, सब ताली दो। और तेसी और जीन मेरा उनको सब बिग थैंक यू बोलो।